this metal roof is a standing seam roof. So basically, there's no exposed fasteners. So the screws go in here. The next sheet will lay down right on top. There's a lip right here. Locks in with that. Like the next sheet would just lay right over there, snap on there. This way there's no exposed fasteners, and there's a very, very, very little chance of this roof ever leaking. At least that's how it was explained to me. Standing seam was a huge upgrade. It was about double the price of a regular roof, but that whole never having to worry about a leaking roof, very appealing. So that's what we went with this. Plus, there's a lot of roof showing on this house. You can see the roof the whole time you're pulling in, and I just think it looks better. I mean, it really sets the house off, in my opinion. My buddy Monroe, the co-host of the Working Words podcast, he talked me into it. Monroe's one of the most frugal people I know, but he said when he's building his house, he will have a standing seam roof, and that was good enough for me. That talked me right into it. So I'm gonna hop in the tractor. We're gonna go plant in a wet spot. I need to go check some fields. We may have some replant situations, and I need to find that sooner rather than later. Morning. You ready for NASCAR? NASCAR pit crew. Yeah. Swapping for skinnies post spray time, so we got crop out of the ground, and well, we didn't want to run over any more than we need to, so put the skinnies back on. What happened to you? You started pulling the sprayer, started moving. Just wait a little bit. I think we're ready for NASCAR now. We got that one on what? 5 minutes? We'd have gained the driver at least 3 positions. Tires are changed. Glad that's over. So we got a shipment of beans coming. These are double crops, but I called our seed salesman and said, hey, can you bring me those double crop seeds now? I might have to use them for replant. So they might become replant here real soon. We're gonna do some field scouting. I know I have some fields that are gonna get a little bit of replant action today or tomorrow. So we are going to back this planter out, fill this thing up. They are bringing me 400 units of beans, but they're bringing them in 2 tender loads. So if I fill up my planter, I can hold the rest in my tender. So we're about 2 weeks into no rain. We are really showing the signs of it. I'm really hoping the crop will still be here when we get the next rains. Ain't projected for another 8 days. I even left my seed tender untarped and went and ate lunch, hoping I'd come back and have 200 units of ruined seed. Didn't happen. Grass is starting to die in the gravel spots. Like there's gravel right there, that's why it's dying. All that's dying. 2 weeks isn't a long time without rain, but it's kind of in a critical part where we need it to rain. One good thing about this, our crop is getting a good root system right now if it was able to germinate, because it's having to dig down to find moisture. floor guy's done for the day. Looks like he's just about done with the whole project, really. Say he's got another day at least, though. He's really worried that he wouldn't be done in time for the concrete, but heck, at this point, I think he'll wrap it up tomorrow pretty easily, and he'll even have a bonus day where we won't have to worry about it. So that is good. Looking good. 16,000 feet of pipe. That is a lot of pipe. That's why we did not do this, because man, we'd have probably cost ourselves so much money in pipe. Whew, it's a lot to keep straight. Morning. Driving out through a couple fields here, checking slug damage. So this will be the first day of replant 2023. Trying to figure out where all we need to replant. So we are replanting for slug damage. If you're unfamiliar with slugs, those are little slimy bugs that, well, they do a number on soybeans. And typically tillage will kill them, and this field was no-till. Remarkably, there's not a lot of slug damage in it. See the beans coming in nicely. But unfortunately, some of the fields beside the bins were not so lucky, and they're getting replanted. Dad is spraying post-spray on some bean fields, like this one right here, all around the grain bins where we spread a cover crop. Well, that cover crop came back, and right now we're having trouble killing it. So Dad's going to spray those. One thing he's also going to do is let me know if he sees any thin places in some of the fields where I don't know that we need to replant. Kind of doing a little crop scout for me, you might say. Well, we got the combines yesterday. Dad did. He was very worried that they wouldn't start. But hey, they both started, so that's the first step to preparing for wheat harvest. This is June the 2nd. We will be wheat harvesting probably, if it doesn't rain anymore, probably in 3 weeks. Still a long ways to go, but hopefully we get some rain. It's not that early. You guys already fill up? No. I don't know what he thinks about it. So, if you missed it a few videos back, we got a new spray trailer. The spray trailer is very high-tech, and we're still getting the hang of it. So right now, it's a learning experience for all three. Dad has been using it. He's used it by himself multiple times. So we're switching a couple things around, doing a calibration, so we're getting it. It is fairly self-explanatory, the quick draw once you understand the operating system. That red line is where we started at. We are sucking out of that tote right now. Over here you can see that we pulled 7 gallons out of our 28 gallons of Roundup. There's how many gallons per minute. We are on a low idle on the pump right now, so we can crank that thing up. Now we're pumping water. So we pumped it back down to low idle at the very end. See if we overflow. We've overflowed a couple times. Well, that's it. She shut off. We're going to head to the first field. I need to recalibrate because this seed weighs heavier. So what I mean by that is, where this is an air seeder, we're not counting seed, we're counting revolutions of a meter. We need to know a starting point. So this variety of seed has 2,860 seeds per pound. I want to plant around 175,000 seeds per acre, being this late. Well, we have to make a starting point. So basically, this drill measures things in pounds. We have to go back there, turn the meter, see how many pounds it thinks it put out, and then weigh that, and then put that in here. Basically, we need to recalibrate. But first, I'm going to plant a couple acres because we still have a little bit of Pioneer that was still in the drill in one of the boxes. Not much. We're very close to empty, but there's just a little bit. One thing kind of interesting, you can see there's no beans here, and there's beans over there. There's a little bit of slug damage, but those are just thinned a little bit. These are eaten completely gone. I tilled that twice with the VT. I tilled this field early April, and then when we got the rolling harrow, I went over this just a little bit when I was tilling the Sea Consultants plot, and it must have made a difference because there's no slugs really over here. Bare ground over there, like completely bare. No beans. They're all gone. That is just complete devastation. Wow. So every time I talk about slug damage, you can kind of see the green tinge over there. Well, I can't. I don't know if you can. But it's pretty much bare in the center of this field. Every time I talk about slug damage, though, people always want to know if we can spray for them. Well, you really can't. There's a granular product you can spread. I've never seen it, never really been around it. I've heard it's very expensive and works so-so. Other things I've heard people do on corn, we will get them in corn sometimes, but typically corn will grow fast enough that it'll be too big for them to munch on. Beans, they kind of hang by the ground, the slugs eat them. But on corn ground, I've heard people going in and putting a very light rate of 28% nitrogen on. The salt in the fertilizer will kill them instantly. Apparently, when you sprinkle salt on a slug, it just kills it. They feed at night, so you have to spray it at night. Slugs are never a guarantee. I believe that if we had planted this field in April, it's very climate dependent, but it was still cold in April. I don't think the slugs had hatched or started feeding yet. It just seems like everything planted, this was planted May 12th, it seems like everything planted in that range has slug damage in it because the ground was warm and I guess the slugs were active. And it's really just this strip of ground, our neighbors on down, same soil type, they all have slugs pretty bad this year. So I don't know if it's a soil type thing also. I don't think so, but it's kind of a coincidence, I guess. Let's get out and show you guys some of what I'm talking about. The one surefire sign of slugs, you can see that kind of glistening right there. That's the trail they leave. I bet we can find one. That bean has just been eat on and eat on. It's dead. It's gonna die. There's a little bit of moisture in this ground, surprisingly. Oh yeah, lots of eating damage. As you can see, there's just no beans left here hardly. They have just cleaned it. Oh, I just seen one. Where'd it go? There's a slug right there. That's what's killing my field. There's one right there. So we did 32 acres of that 46 acre field. So that's pretty bad. Now Dad is spraying right now. He said the rest of these fields just have a couple little spots in them that need filled in. So that's much better, not near as bad. So we've planted about 50 acres, and I think that's it for now.